Want to learn how you can turn this into this? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to show you how your team can play effective team defense in threes. So let's talk briefly about how your lineup should look like as a threes team. You've got one weak defensive player, usually a short player with lots of speed, mainly an offensive player, and is going to be your forechecker and can play center or winger. You're not bound to one specific spot. You can play either one. Second, you've got is what I called a versatile player. A player that can play both offense and defense and transitions well between plays. He's going to be the one that prioritizes defense and again can play center or winger. It's totally up to you. And then obviously your best defensive player is going to be your teal position. A defensive class that can play lockdown defense and usually controls the breakout for your team is going to be the one that mainly plays that defensive role. Not going to be the one that goes up in the play too much. I'm going to go more into detail about classes later on in the video. So now you have your lineup and your assignments. Let's talk about actually playing defense. So everything starts with positioning. As soon as your opponents have control of the puck, your team is on defense. There's positioning in the neutral zone, in the offensive zone, and obviously in the defensive zone. So let's start with the neutral zone at the start of the faceoff. If your team loses the draw, your positioning should be a triangle shape pointing up, just like this. This is how you're going to be at the start of every defensive play. Your team needs to try to keep this triangle as much as possible. You need one forechecker whose sole purpose is to just get in the way and pressure the puck carrier while your other two teammates are covering the remaining players looking for a pass. The play here is to hold the blue line as best as you can to avoid any easy break-in from your opponents. This is obviously not how you're going to cover up, as there is no attempt at holding the blue line. I know this is kind of a reverse look, but it's really easy for my team to be able to go in to the zone. Look at that defense. Whoa, S tier 3-on-3 defense, baby. Let's just go all the way back in our own zone. Holding the blue line is like the most important thing in the neutral zone. Communication is key here, as you need to talk to your teammates and decide who is covering who. Something like this. I got the far guy, Bob. Just something short and simple works and ensures everyone is on the same page. Offsides. Defense. Recover. I'm on the right side. You cover left, Bob. Next up. Forechecking the hell out of him. Nice. Oh, wow. Okay. The player forechecking should be your worst defensive player because he doesn't need to successfully take the puck off the puck carrier. He just needs to get in his way, which can force him to make a bad pass. Be mindful though while you're forechecking. Try not to allow the puck carrier to get past you, as then it becomes a 3-on-2 instead of a 2-on-2. This is going to make it difficult for your two defensemen to hold the blue line because it's technically an odd man rush, and if handled wrong, could lead to a 2-on-1. The best thing to do if the forechecker does get beat is to allow your opponents into the zone and wait for an opportunity to strike and pursue the offense. Patience is key then. Stealthy ninjas are great defensively because they wait and listen before striking. And they're fast. Really fast. Watch out. Just like Bruce Lee. So if you can hold the blue line and never allow your opponents in, then great. Your team is the best defensive team because you never have to spend 1 second in your own zone. Congratulations. Shout out all day. No, that's not going to happen. When your opponents do break the puck in, the defense is rather simple. I recommend man-to-man coverage, and if you made that triangle in the neutral zone, then you should know who to cover in the defensive zone. The positioning here is the same. Your weakest player covers the point man, while your two better defensemen cover down low. The coverage while playing man-to-man should be inside leverage and back roughly about poke-checking length, or a little more depending on your skill level. Never let the man inside of you, as that is blowing coverage and usually leads to a goal against. It either means that you were too close to them or they were just faster and quicker to the inside of you. Same thing applies if you get beat to the outside, but that usually takes place in the neutral zone. Your opponent is faster and you need to prioritize giving them a little more room if your opponent is a quick, faster player type. If you have the coverage down and is about just staying with your man and waiting for an opportunity to take away the puck. Lots of players tend to be aggressive and try hitting and end up failing and allowing the opponent to get around them. It's called over-pursuing, as you don't have the right angle to hit them. Focus more on your poke check and just stay with your man. It's more effective and it makes the puck here make the first move and allows you to counter him, which usually results in a successful takeaway. Now, let's talk about a lot of tendencies by these teams in the offensive zone. A lot of teams overuse the cross crease to their advantage because that's the #1 way to score. It isn't the only way, but it is what every team looks for in the offensive zone. As a team, you need to stop that. Now look, if you're shadowing the puck carrier, all you need to do is keep them to the outside while your teammate across from you takes away the lane for the cross crease. Again, inside leverage is key here, as it does take a level of skill to defend the cross crease almost every time. While this is happening, the player covering the point needs to also stay active by making sure that there was no shot from the point. Again, he doesn't need to take the puck off him, just needs to get in the point man's way and not allow a clean chance to the net. So here's another thing. What do you do if everyone starts rotating? And now you guys are in different spots on the ice. You now have your weakest defensive player down low, while your better defensive player up top. If everyone is comfortable in playing defense, then you don't have a problem here, as everyone can just stay with their man and play defense. If your weak defensive player doesn't feel comfortable playing down low, then communication has never been more important in this situation, as you need to wait for an opportunity to make a switch call with your teammates so that you can continue to have your better 2 defensemen down low covering. You need to talk to your teammates so that there's no 2 guys on 1 man or 3 guys on 1 man, as that just represents poor communication. This is a team sport, so when there is a goal against on your team, it's everyone's fault. You don't just blame one defenseman or your goalie. Everybody contributes on defense as well as offense, so everyone takes a piece, and it really makes the game of hockey make more sense when everyone understands this simple concept. So when you have successfully taken away the puck from your opponents, now you're on offense and can break the puck out in the zone and set up offensively. I could do a video on how to break the puck in and play effective in the offensive zone in the future if you want. Just let me know down in the comments below. Let's say you're in the offensive zone and you lose the puck. A shot on goal that pops out to a member of the other team, or the goalie throws it out, or whatever. Your opponents have the puck. What do? The defensive play becomes the exact same as in the neutral zone. Make that triangle and get to your man. It's pretty simple. Be sure not to send 2 forwards up, because if your opponents get a pass through, it becomes a non-man rush. 2-on-1 the other way. Now, if your main forechecker is on the opposite side of where the puck is, and you have a defenseman or someone else closer to the puck, and you want to become that forechecker, then that's fine. Do so if everyone feels comfortable on defense and make that calm. You got to say that you're forechecking. If not, then make a switch call back and trade places with your weakest defensive player so that he can forecheck while you are obviously back playing defense. If you need to do that, then it's safe to do so. It's not really effective at pressuring your opponents, though, because it's like giving them an opportunity to just kind of reset themselves and take full possession of the puck. Sometimes really good teams can transition quickly to offense and make it tough for your defense to even get back. So you need to be aware that sometimes you may not play where you want to. Everyone should be able to play defense, but even then it makes it tough for those players with low defensive ratings, because there's no guarantee that you will defend successfully no matter how good your position is.
Wow.
All right, now this is something everybody needs to understand. I'd say turnovers are the main reason for goals against on your team, because what turnovers do is create havoc for your defense, and most times you won't be able to set up properly in your normal spots. But it puts your defense in just a horrible spot and will eventually frustrate your teammates if it happens a number of times. When a turnover happens, you must back check as hard as you can and try your best to cover the closest man to you if possible. The worst kind of turnover is when you're last man back. Usually your defensive player loses the puck at the blue line in the offensive zone while your 2 teammates are up down low in the zone, and then it becomes a breakaway or an odd man rush. This makes it extremely important to handle the puck well on the breakout and even in the offensive zone. This is why 3v3 is such a tough game to play, because when there is one mistake on the ice, whether it be offensively or defensively, it can cost you majorly.